Hell in a Cell 2021 was a show. Yep, it was a show. It wasn't anything remarkable. It was the last show of the pandemic era for now, and I honestly think it should have ended better. It should have made us want to see the next pay-per-view right now, and it really does not. There was nothing spectacular on it. Both of the Hell in a Cell matches were very good, and there were some great wrestling, but the tagline of the show should be great wrestling followed by a dog shit ending, because 3 or 4 of the matches have had pretty shit endings. So let's talk about it. Welcome back to Rankings. This is the series where I talk about all the matches that have taken place at a certain pay-per-view and rank them from S tier to F tier depending on how good they were. Today we will talk about Hell in a Cell 2021, and yeah, it wasn't that good. I had high expectations for the show as it was the last pay-per-view of the pandemic era, but it really disappointed. As of the matches, there were 7 in total, I believe. 1 got shifted off to SmackDown. That was Roman Reigns vs. Rey Mysterio, which was a decent match. It actually was worse than both of the Hell in a Cell matches that took place here today. But anywho, let's start right now. The kickoff show had a match, and it was none other than Natalya vs. Mandy Rose. The setup for this match is that Natalya and Tamina accused the other two, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, of being basically sluts, and the reason they actually got to the main roster and actually got to where they are is because not of their talent but because of their body, and you're not exactly wrong about that. And also Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke said that they got there because of nepotism, which is also correct because that's also kind of true. But it was a decent match. Literally, I started writing notes for the entire show. I have some good notes for some of the matches, but all I could write for this match is meh, decent wrestling, and it was a match. It was a match. It was a decent match. Mandy Rose has become better in the ring than before, but personally I think she has a lot way to go before she can be considered really good. And there was some places where she just stood there and happened and just stayed there before the next move happened. That was pretty shit. As a match, I'll give it a C tier because it wasn't that good, to be honest. But for a kickoff show, it was acceptable. And of course, we're gonna see Tamina versus Dana Brooke probably this week. But anyway, this was a match. It was a match. The main card started with one Hell in a Cell, exactly how I predicted it, and it was Bayley versus Bianca Belair, exactly what I said it would be. It was a very good match actually. In the beginning of the match, Belair fought a chair with a fucking ponytail, just bashing the chair with a ponytail, not allowing Bayley to hit her. It was pretty funny. Belair did a very good flip off the top rope, which looked really good. A lot of the match actually was based around Belair's hair. Bayley tied it to the ropes. I thought it would be a little bit of a bigger deal. It wasn't. She tied it to a chair. That should have been a bigger deal. Really wasn't. And in the end, a little bit of a spoiler, even Belair used it, and she tied her hair to Bayley's wrist and used it to attack her. Sure, why not? A lot of offense based on the hair, which was pretty good. Bayley did a brilliant sunset flip powerbomb on the cage, which looked really good, and then had a throwback where she taped 2 kendo sticks together, continuity from last year, and used it. Michael Cole was telling about how she did that last year, and Bayley said, "Shut up, Michael," which was probably one of the best things I've heard all year. It was so brilliant, perfectly timed, absolutely great character work from Bayley. Bayley actually got powerbombed onto the kendo stick, so it's 0-2 for Bayley versus kendo stick. After Hell in a Cell became a Hell in a Cell strap match with Belair tying her hair to Bayley's wrist, she hit a KOD on the ladder for the win. It was a very good KOD, and as a match, it was really good. I'll give it an A tier. It was an S tier. S tier is very, very sparingly I use it because those are the cream of the cream, the best of the best matches. But as a match, I think this was really good. It wasn't missing anything, unlike the Backlash encounter. But this is where the feud should end. This is absolutely where the feud should end, because after Hell in a Cell, keeping the feud going forward will be pretty stupid. The next match is Cesaro versus Rollins. This was substituted last minute, and maybe that's why it felt like it was very rushed. The match wasn't. The match was pretty good, but As a story, I think they should have extended it to Money in the Bank instead of Hell in a Cell. But surprisingly, it was a very good match because it had pretty weird build. Rollins attacked Cesaro before the match, attacking him behind his back, but Cesaro eventually got the better of it. He started attacking Rollins instead, and at one point of the match, Cesaro hit a fucking Rainmaker. They didn't call it out as a Rainmaker, but it was exactly a Rainmaker. And I marked out for that. I was like, holy shit. Cesaro used multiple submissions for the majority of this match. He used the sharpshooter, which did not look that good, and he also used basically the yes lock. It was also pretty good. But at the end of the match, I'll just skip to the end, Rollins won through a roll-up. It was a pretty weird end to a very good match, but that did not take away from the experience. Both of them are really good wrestlers, and I do not think this is where the feud ends, although it should have. We've had enough of their matches. It's been 3 matches till now. So yeah, absolutely 8-year match, although it was a very good match, so 8 year. But this should be the end of the feud, and Cesaro should move on to the Intercontinental Championship picture, and Rollins needs to start a picture with Edge, or eventually a face turn, because that would be fun. The worst part of Hell in a Cell next, where we saw Shayna Baszler take on Alexa Bliss. This was a lot more wrestling than I thought it would be, for some reason. Towards the beginning of the match, Shayna Baszler just walked to the ring without selling any of the spookiness of the happening that has happened. 2 weeks ago, she got killed basically by a puppet. Last week, she did not even show up, and now she's just walking to the ring. No selling everything. Continuity, motherfuckers. And it's weird. It was very weird. And there were Reginald and Nia beside her. Why are they still together? Why haven't they split up? Their tag team should be over because they lost the championship, and also fucking Reginald got involved in oh god, it's so annoying. Fucking annoying. Let's get on to the weird parts of the match. Towards the beginning of the match, Alexa Bliss just kept laughing Shayna Baszler's offense off, and it was weird because this is something that the Mr. Rogers version of The Fiend did once, and it's fucking weird, isn't it? Because Alexa just does not work as the Fiend substitute. It really does not work. And towards the middle of the match, or towards the end I guess, Nia Jax got hypnotized by Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss went, ah! And Nia Jax went, ah! And I at home went, ah! Why am I watching this shit? It was so bad. It was so bad. And she slapped Reginald, which has nothing to do with any of the match. I fucking hate it. And then it was weird. Bliss got out of the Carrefour clutch. I guess that's easy now. And she hit a Twisted Bliss after a Sister Abigail for the win. Weird match. I'm gonna give it a D tier because I don't think it was as horrible as The Fiend getting buried by Randy Orton, which is the worst of the worst that can ever happen. But I think personally that there was some decent to bad, but still decent wrestling involved. As an angle, it's shit. I think it's going to be pretty shit going forward as well, but not as bad as it could be, right? The worst thing of the show was immediately followed by probably the best thing of the show, and that is Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. One of the only matches of the night which had a proper ending. That is pretty concerning because we still have 3 matches to go, including this one. Someone said that it's WWE's break glass in case of emergency match, and that's pretty much accurate because no matter when you do it, it's pretty much going to be a very good match. WrestleMania 37, now fucking 20 years in the future, it's probably going to be good even then. One thing to note about this match is from the beginning, Owens is still selling the Nigerian nail that he got hit with 2 days ago. And that's good. The selling is good, but at points it did get a bit annoying. That just might be me. But towards the middle of the match though, Owens looked like he dislocated his shoulder, but turns out we just got worked. It was very well worked and absolutely perfection in terms of selling it. Owens did great, the referee did great, Sami Zayn did great, it was awesome. Also, Sami started bleeding from the mouth, which led to Michael Cole saying this is the most brutal match that you'll ever see. We're in fucking Hell in a Cell, mate. What are you talking about? It's such a stupid remark. Michael Cole sometimes has a fucking IQ of a goldfish. And in the end, Sami Zayn actually ends up winning after hitting an absolutely phenomenal haluba kick. It was brilliant. One of the best haluba kicks I've ever seen. Proper finish. Pretty good match. 8 here. It's probably the best match of the night. There might have been a couple of the contenders, but The endings of them were pretty shit, so I hated that. Absolutely hated that. Some of the endings of the matches, but as a complete package, this match is definitely one of the best of the night. If not, it was definitely one of the best of the night. Semi-main territory with Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair taking place next. The Raw Women's Championship was on the line, and kind of interesting how in the video package they did not show any of the nonsense that was going on with Nikki Cross. Even WWE understand that it was pretty shit, huh? That's interesting. But towards the beginning of the match was very weird, but Flair just threw the belt at Ripley. Ripley caught it, and then Flair started beating her, which, whatever. Then Ripley got the better of her a couple of minutes later, but eventually, a couple of notable spots from this match. Flair did a double moonsault from the top rope, and it was Andrade's move, so paying homage to her boyfriend. That's perfect. Love some of the moves. She even did a couple of other moves of his. That's pretty good. But the ending of the match is where everything fell apart for me. It was the worst ending of the night, without a shadow of a doubt. You know the thing that covers the announcer's desk of Raw, SmackDown, everywhere? Rhea Ripley took that, threw it at Charlotte's face, and the referee was like, that has been done 1,000 times in 1,000 other matches, but that has never been a DQ. But I'm here, so this is a DQ. I don't know why that was a DQ. After the match, Rhea and Charlotte even started beating each other up. Rhea got the better of her, and Charlotte just started laughing a couple of minutes later. It was stupid. Absolutely stupid. So that is why, if the ending was better, if Rhea just won clean or Charlotte even won clean, I would have given this a 8 tier. But since the ending was the worst of the night, I'm going to give this a B tier. This also is one of the best matches of the night, but unfortunately the ending absolutely fucked it up for me. I hope they could have done something better, because there was so much potential with this match. It was very good too, but just they fucked it up towards the end. Really, such a good match. These two women have such great chemistry. And the main event of the night, which is Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Drew's last chance at winning the championship. Let me just say this before I start talking about the match. The whole event has been pretty uneventful, no pun intended, and there should be some major angle or some major return after the match to make sure that, yeah, this is the end of the pandemic era and now we're moving back into the normal era. Hope something like that happens. Spoiler, nothing did. So hopefully they give us a good ending to the match. Spoiler, they did not. Towards the beginning of the match, for like 30 seconds to 1 minute, Bobby Lashley just kept pointing one towards Drew McIntyre, showing that it's his last chance at winning the championship while Bobby is the champion. It was weird. It felt like Bobby just froze there. It started glitching or something. It was weird, but it was cool. There were some really innovative spots in the entire match, including Bobby Lashley using the stairs to awesomely beat up Drew and bringing the momentum back into his side. MVP trapped McIntyre with kendo sticks, which was cool looking, but his hands were free, so I don't know what they were thinking. At one point, Bobby poked Drew in the eye and then threw him at the referee, who took a ref bump, of course. But then Drew hit a claymore. But there was no referee, so a visual pin, but it wasn't the end of the match. So great. Drew told the other referee to come in, and the other referee came in from outside, but along with him came MVP, who pulled the referee out. It was a pretty good spot, and after that, Drew basically beat up MVP after he was unable to go outside. It was pretty well done, to be honest. MVP ate a claymore and a couple of moves after that, and then a couple of minutes later, a couple of table bumps later, Drew McIntyre got ready to hit another claymore, and surprisingly, MVP got back to his feet, held Drew McIntyre in his place. Bobby Lashley rolled up Drew McIntyre. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Lashley retained off of a fucking roll up inside Hell in a Cell. What can I say about this ending that, oh my god, is stupid? If this had been followed by something like a Lesnar return or something, I don't know, Karrion Kross debut, anything, that would have been worth it. But man, oh man, this match could have been S tier, but the ending also riled me up so much that it goes down to 8 tier. It was a very good match until the ending. The ending wasn't that bad compared to Charlotte and Rhea especially, but as a match, it was very good. The ending really fueled me up. 8 tier. So those were all of the ranking for the video. Let's put it in the leaderboard to see at the end of the year which was the best pay-per-view of 2021. I think it's safe to say that Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn was the best match of the night, and Kevin Owens probably was the MVP of the night. Let me know your picks below. Also, thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments. Also, be sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel. That helps out a lot. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next, because next week, or actually this week, I think I'll be bringing Money in the Bank picks, who should win and how they should win it, 10 picks for that, as well as the WWE draft fantasy booking. You do not want to miss that. It's a very long video, but I have drafted every single superstar that is currently on Raw or SmackDown, so that's going to be fun. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at @NOP_YouTube to get a shout out at the beginning of the video. But again, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.